This week's blog post is on a visit to the Wadsworth Atheneum. It's the second part in a series. The introduction to this series about the Wadsworth family and the Wadsworth Atheneum is in last week's post. When my husband and I visited the Wadsworth for the first time this past October, we were told that due to the circulation restrictions put in place for COVID-19, we should start on the third floor and work our way down. This series of posts shows the items on that route that particularly struck me. There are many, many more works in the Wadsworth's collection, and I'm sure some wondrous items that I simply missed. Looking at my photos from the Wadsworth, I realized there's an advantage to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum's poor lighting. Even a real camera, not a cell phone, cannot take a good photo if there's a spotlight glaring on the painting, as there is on the one on the right on this slide. For that reason, I'll often be using Wikipedia photos rather than my own photos in these posts. That's a pity because frames often have an effect on how we perceive a painting, so I'm going to sometimes give you a second photo that shows the frame. All right. This is Oliver Ellsworth and his wife Abigail Wolcott Ellsworth, painted by Ralph Earl in 1792. As a representative from Connecticut, Ellsworth, 1745 to 1807, helped draft the Constitution. He holds a copy of it in this painting. A staunch ally in Congress of Alexander Hamilton and the Federalists, he later served as third Chief Justice of the United States. When this portrait was painted, Abigail had borne 9 children, only 2 of whom died in infancy. In the background of this 6-foot-high double portrait is the couple's home, Elmwood, in Windsor, near Hartford, Connecticut, which is now a museum. Oliver Ellsworth wrote of it, quote, "I have visited several countries, and I like my own the best. I have been in all the states of the Union, and Connecticut is the best state. Windsor is the pleasantest town in that state, and I have the pleasantest place in the town of Windsor. I am content, perfectly content, to die on the banks of the Connecticut River." End of quote. Ralph Earl painted dozens of American portraits, but the one he's most famous for today is that of Eliza Hamilton, painted a few years earlier than this one. Abigail's dress is very similar to Eliza's. In this photo you can see the elegantly simple frame of the Ellsworth portrait. I don't know if it's original, but it certainly might be. And this are our next 2 portraits, and on the right is the frame. There's a matching frame on each of these. It's quite a different effect from that very simple border on the Ellsworth portrait. I'd be extremely surprised if this isn't the original frame. The one for Colonel Lee matches it. All right, Copley sitters are usually healthy and well-to-do. Case in point, Jeremiah Lee, 1721 to 1775, was one of New England's wealthiest merchants. As a rebel leader, he imported munitions, headed the rebel military regiment in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and was committee chair of the Massachusetts rebel legislature. Here's his house. On April 18, 1775, Lee met with 4 other Patriot leaders, John Hancock, Samuel Adams, Elbridge Gerry, and Azor Orne. When British troops marched toward Lexington and Concord, the 4 Patriots fled, hiding in a cornfield. Lee caught a fever and died within a month. Lee is considered the first patriot leader to have given his life in the cause of independence. His elegant mansion in Marblehead, where he lived with his wife Martha and their 6 children, is now a museum, and on my list of want-to-visit places. DianeDuranteWriter.com has hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, Central Park, and my other obsessions. To join the free Sunday Recommendations email list, visit the URL that's on screen, or email me. And you can say, "Well done, Diane," or support my work and receive rewards by means of the tip jar on DianeDuranteWriter.com. Thanks as always for listening.